Hello, friends. It has been a couple weeks since I've popped in. We are out of power, so I am trying to catch up from all the things we did while I was gone on my leader retreat and trying to get done. I think I missed a ton of stuff before I left, and then I'm a little bit behind from coming back, but we are going to be going into the next week, and I want to just pop in here and say I'm so sorry, but I am still here. I'm still doing things. So to kind of give you an update of where I'm at with things, I've been doing pretty well. We are on day, where are we at here? We're in the 20s, right? So we're like a good solid quarter of the way into the end of the year, and things are going well for me. I have been doing a combination of this, although I've been doing the tracker digitally, to also doing this Rocktober tracker as well, which I need to pick up from yesterday, which I did super solid yesterday. And I've actually was just thinking today, because I was looking through my tracker for my food, and then we lost power. I probably am a little bit behind on food today, but I know that seems so strange, right? But I'm doing good on all kinds of other stuff. And this will probably help me. I do a lot of driving, so that will help me to get some time away from my phone. However, I think I'm going to incorporate a little bit more about reading more physical books. I'm really excited because I'm about to finish Atomic Habits. My next book that I'm going to read, it's downstairs. I thought I had it up here. My next book that I'm going to pull out for our November group is Essentialism, because it's super solid, and I think it'll be good for anybody that's hopping in this. So I really want you to think about, the different things that you're doing and the different things that you're learning. And, if you've been reading Atomic Habits, well, one, if you haven't read Atomic Habits, get that book, because that book is solid. If you have been reading Atomic Habits, I hope you're writing down and jotting down some of those simple things that he talks about, and some of the simple things to make the habit attractive and doable, versus making it the opposite, so that it's, that you don't want to continue it and things like that. And there's a couple pieces that he put in there, and I should have grabbed my book. I should have really brought it up here. But one of the things they talk about is making note and tracking things every day, which is where this came from, you guys. And so you want to make it so it becomes routine, so that it becomes something super solid that you're just doing consistently. And I think that that's really good, because these are things that you want to learn how to incorporate in your life every single day, helps you build those healthy habits every single day. So even when you crush 2020 and you end up way better than where maybe you started in September, a lot of times when we start January, we're at our lowest again. We feel like crap. We've been eating and drinking too much, not enough water, which, speaking of, let me get some here. I'm a little thirsty now. Not enough water. Your mindset is just in a crappy place, because maybe if you had any sort of holiday break or anything like that, you binge watch a ton of shows. So I was thinking about that on Christmas. This was just a couple years ago. On Christmas, I remember and I think so many of us get this way anyway, but on Christmas, do you ever get to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, Christmas is here, you have so much fun. And then depending on whenever you do your festivities, we do a lot Christmas Eve. We go to church. We do Christmas Eve. We play games. We have dinner. Kids and I and Jeff hang out. They get up the next morning. We do presents. And then we head to my mom's. And when we head to my mom's, we come back. And sometimes, depending on what time we have to be there, it depends a lot on what time my sisters have to be at their dad's and what time we need to get it done. And the family's getting bigger, so it takes a little bit longer over there. But we will come back and either finish our presents, or we're already done and we start putting stuff away. And it's kind of fun for a little while, because you're putting stuff away, you're getting out all your new stuff and you're checking it out. Well, then noon comes, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and I shower finally. And then I am kind of what do we do now? And so in the previous years, I've gotten super depressed because I'm like, boy, that holiday was amazing and now it's over and now it's going to be New Year's. But in the meantime, like, I got to go back to work for a little bit and I'm just not wanting to do it. And like, I'm just feeling like crap. And so I just sit and I watch and I binge watch TV and I just fill my mind with that, which there's nothing wrong with doing that every once in a while. But you get to a point where your mind can't take anymore and it's just too much activity going on and you're not doing anything to stay productive. And so the last couple days or the last couple years, I've like gone out for an afternoon walk. I've gotten a workout in. I've listened to something good while I'm putting my stuff away. I've organized something to feel accomplished. I get some sort of meal made for our family. Well, my husband does, but I help him work something out like that. This year I thought about like, what if we make cookies on Christmas Day for us to enjoy for our movie at night? You know, what if we make some treats and stuff like that? So that we still have time for that family and we are able to do it. But these types of things help us on that journey. And so when you start to go down that path of just like blah, 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 and not taking care of yourself, it's easy to get out of that mindset of like, what can I do? And then come January 1st, you're like, I'm so ready to start fresh, so ready to start something new. And I'm going to do all these things. And then you try to fill in all these things in your day and you just can't figure out how to make it work. And you get frustrated and you're tired and you're sore and you're tired of eating salad by day 3. Because let's face it, not everyone wakes up and be like, oh, I cannot wait to have a big old salad today. Or man, I'm so hungry this afternoon. I want a big salad with lots of tomatoes and cucumbers. That sounds amazing. No, it doesn't. We eat the salad. We eat the vegetables because your body needs that. Sorry, I'm watching my time, so I got to take my son to football. You eat it because your body needs it, not because you are loving it. Okay. And so these simple habits that you build every day help you to remember what it is that you're working for, what it is that you're going after. And so some of it may still not all happen on Christmas Day or on the holidays or anything like that, but you're going to feel better when you do. So like on this habit tracker, you may not eat the best, right? But you're probably going to pick better things, better choices a couple times throughout the day instead of the whole day. And maybe you're like, I'm just going to kind of throw the day out the window and I'm just going to just nibble on all these little things. But on the 26th, I'm back at my meal plan. Okay. Taking 10 minutes to read a book, like 10 minutes, you guys, that's nothing. Maybe even do it at night before you go to bed. Writing in your gratitude journal. I do it every morning. It's just like a habit. Like I already grab it. It's first thing in the morning. And actually at night, I put it on my kitchen counter so that when I come downstairs, I can make my pre and I can start on my books right away. And one of the things we do is watch one of our nutrition videos because I feel like just keeping that nutrition aspect in your mind, it's really helpful to remember like, what different things can you do with things? Why are you eating that way? What are you eating? Here's a new example. It's always good to refresh your mind. Getting a workout in. It doesn't have to mean like downstairs lifting all these weights. No, it could mean like there's so many out there that you can choose from. There's barre, there's yoga, there's this new running program. You could do a weightlifting, maybe just go on a walk with your family. Like getting outside and getting fresh air can make a huge difference. Even if it's cold, bundle up, take your dogs for a walk, go outside, listen, throw your AirPods in. It doesn't have to be long, but just 10, 15 minutes of fresh air can do your body and your mind and your soul a whole lot of good. Drinking your superfoods every day makes a huge difference. It makes you feel better. It cuts your cravings. It helps you feel like you at least got that basic nutrients that you needed in your body. And the rest of the day, if it's filled with cinnamon rolls and leftover ham and ham sandwiches and cheesy potatoes, like at least you got that little bit in. Getting your water in makes a huge difference, and staying off your phone so you can be present in what you've got going on. These little things that we work on every single day may or may not happen every day, but at least if I put this on my fridge, I can mark off and I can say, done. Like today, I've got my Shakeology done. I got my workout in. I got my 10 pages in. I got my gratitude in. I still need to listen to my To Be mindset. I have had almost 2 hours of off my phone today, and I'm still working on my water goal, and I still have the rest of the day to eat. So as I mark off boxes, I feel so much better. So as we approach a quarter of the way in, take some time to evaluate. And he talks about that in Atomic Habits too. Evaluate your process that you've had. And keep in mind that if you fail, it doesn't mean that you failed. It means you're learning. You're learning what are the things that tripped you up? What are the things that you struggle with? How can you fix that so that tomorrow might be a better day for you? Okay. So never look at failing anything. In my opinion, if you're failing, you're trying and you're working towards something. We're not all going to be successful from day one, and that's okay. Like, learn from what we've got going on. And as we approach here the end of October and the beginning of November, think about some of the things that you want to work on. Think about some of the things that you want to make changes to, that you know you can still make changes to. And think about that kind of stuff. Here's some bonus tips that we get points for. We get points for waking up an hour earlier and taking advantage of your morning, finishing all the modules in the nutrition course, listening to one of my coach's podcasts, which is so good, making your bed every day, starting your day doing something right for you, spreading inspiration and positivity, taking and sharing a favorite takeaway from a reading or audiobook, or a favorite healthy recipe or something that you learned, and sharing it to your stories. People want to know what you're learning and what you're seeing and what you're doing and how you're making it work for you. That makes a huge difference because people oftentimes want to know how they can do that too. Finishing the Atomic Habits book, which I'm almost done, and any additional personal development book. And like I said, next month I'm reading Essentialism. I think the author is Greg McGowan. Submitting results to the Beachbody Challenge. If you're doing a Beachbody program, it's huge, and getting at least 7 hours of sleep. I just want to say, for the last thing, you tell yourself the story of that you can't do it, that it's too hard, that you don't have time, that you're too busy, that you've got the kids, that work is crazy, that you need to spend time with other people and you don't have time to focus on this. That is a red light story you tell yourself. And we grow up telling ourselves red light stories that stop us from being progressive or being productive or being or winning at something. And it's when we stop the red light stories and we figure out what we can do to make it a green light story for ourselves, or understanding it might be a small hiccup in the road, but we're going to be able to pass through it. That is what you want to do. You want to take those red light stories and make them green light stories. And that is why I love our BOD groups, our Beachbody On Demand groups. That is why I love our accountability in our groups. That is why I love the programs we have, because oftentimes, a lot of times women will say, I don't have time. I'm too busy with the kids. The kids are in school and I'm homeschooling and remote learning and it's just too crazy. I just don't have the time to do it. I don't have the money to put forward. Okay. Couple of those things. I promise you, you have the time. I promise you, you do. You just got to figure out where to put it in. What are you spending your time in? Take an audit of your time. Take an audit and write down, what do you do? Are you scrolling Facebook? Are you online shopping? Are you putzing around the house and watching Netflix and binging on Netflix at night? Are you just lounging around and not really focused in on what you need to do, or don't have a list and you're kind of just like bobbling around? I promise you, you have time. For money, are you going to Target? Are you going to Starbucks? Are you spending money on Amazon? I promise you, if you're spending the money on junk food and all those other things, if you were to spend a little bit of time and money focused on the things that are going to fuel your body right, you're going to find the money in your budget. I promise you it's there. And then for those that are too busy because you have online schoolers or you've got work or whatever it is that is plaguing your time, you have to make sure that you're taking the time for you. That is one of my biggest things that I want to tell people, is you have to take the time for you, because if you don't, you're coming out cranky. You're coming out with no patience. You're giving the best to those that you work with versus who you live with. They're getting the rest of you, while the rest of them get the best of you, because you've gotten out everything good that you have. You've given out to work. By the time you get home, they're getting the worst of you. If you don't take the time to focus on filling your heart and your soul and moving your body and energizing your mind before you start homeschooling your kids, you don't have time to learn the Common Core math problems. You don't have time to spend figuring out those things that your kids want.